Hey guys, DJ here at Game Time, and we're talking with Daniel about his tournament-winning XYZ machine deck. So we're gonna get a zoom in here on some of these cards, and don't worry, I'm sure some of them you guys are gonna have to look up because they're not, they don't see a ton of play. So if you're an OG or you play some Medicine, you might recognize limiter removal. If you don't, you might have to look that one up. Most people don't play limiter. We've got some cannon soldiers. So this is the main deck sitting right here, and then, don't worry, because we're an XY deck, we've got our fusion deck. And of course the side deck, we'll get to that in a second. So let's talk a little bit about it, Daniel. First of all, so this is not a standard deck. How did you wind up playing this deck?
So initially, I ended up initially testing this deck out, and it was pretty much like a Chaos burn deck, but as I was going through, it just seemed too slow. I tested on Dueling Network, and it seemed a little bit too slow. I was always getting behind on cards, so I ended up having to figure out the Koichi was already a part of the deck. The XYZs were already a part of the deck, but I was playing 2 of each. It was too slow, so removed some of those. And then eventually, Chinzo, obviously, limiter removal. It's just cannon soldiers, just because I'm playing the goats, and I'm also playing enemy controllers, because sometimes I'll tribute the goats, use the cannon soldier, tribute off the monsters that I steal from my opponents, or go limiter removal with all my machines, attack, and then tribute everything off afterwards because they're going to get destroyed anyways. Metamorphosis was just because when I heard about Gold Control, I always heard of Thousand Eyes with Metamorphosis, so that was kind of what got me into this at first, and then I had to figure out like my take on it.
So yeah, let's talk about some of the more unique cards here. So you're the machine, the XYZ build. You've also got the cannon soldiers. You've got some metamorphosis shenanigans going on. How did you come to like that conclusion where you wanted to play metamorphosis? You wanted to play decree plus 4 other traps. How'd you get there?
So I was sideboarding the decrees at first, but then I started realizing that most of the decks I was playing against were usually mainboarding a lot of traps. So I decided to mainboard the decrees since I'm only playing 4 traps. Then usually they try to side out some of their traps, so I'll usually get rid of my decrees, side into more back row, so I get help. So I like that part of it. The metamorphosis is I'm playing the enemy controllers as well. I also metamorphosis my opponent's monster sometimes. Depending on what it is, I have something for everything, for every level. Yeah, that's all I can really think about that.
Okay, and then going over to the sideboard over here, side deck. Got some non-standard cards here, like Kaiku's obviously against Chaos, Kinetics for Warriors. I see you don't main deck 2 Noblemen, so what's up with the 1-1 split?
Just a 1-1 split, just because you don't know if you're gonna end up playing against Chaos, and most decks aren't. There's a lot of Warrior right now, so it's especially at this locals that I didn't feel like Nobleman was as effective. So I used 1-1, and if I am playing against Chaos, I will side in the other one. If I'm not, then I side it out. Go Smashing Grounds and Bottomless instead.
Okay, and what about the compulsory evacuation device? What's this guy in here for?
That's something I've always used from when I used to play back in the day.
Just like the card?
Yeah, I like the card a lot. So it came in handy today earlier because I went to go summon Tsukiyomi, and somebody went compulse on the Suki, or somebody went to go destroy my Suki when I summon, and I compulsed it back into my hand just to save her, and she ended up coming in handy.
Fair enough. And what about your matchups? How does this deck play against Chaos?
Against Chaos, my deck is slightly slower, but my deck also has the OTK potential with the machines and the limiter removal.
Yep. And then against Warrior, is your Warrior matchup good? I mean, you beat a bunch of Warrior today, right?
I think I beat... One of them was like an aggro Warrior deck, and then 2 of them were Warrior decks. I actually got 2-0'd by the first Warrior deck, and then I got to play him again in top 4. I ended up 2-0ing him back, so it worked out.
Okay. Well, do you have any kind of final thoughts or closing thoughts about the deck, Daniel?
I mean, it's just... I built something that I really liked. Was Machines have always been one of my favorite decks to play, and the whole XYZ thing was just kind of my spin on a Chaos deck. And yeah, that's all I can really say.
Alrighty. Well, congratulations on your win today, Daniel. Thanks for coming and playing. And then for anybody else, if you want to come check out this deck in person, you can come possibly battle against Daniel in person at Game Time, Michigan. And we are located at 18829 Eureka Road, and that's in Southgate, Michigan. Thanks a lot for watching, everyone.
Thanks, guys.